Human design really does show you the path of least resistance in your messaging, your marketing, your business in general. Hey guys, I'm Rachael Weaver and I am your spiritual copywriter and messaging coach, really. And I'm really excited to bring a conversation with Analena to you today. And she has shifted things, not dramatically, but somewhat after her and I talked. And honestly, I've followed Analena for a few years now and really looked up to her, really felt like she embodied human design and I loved learning from her. And I was like over the moon excited when she bought my $37 offer. Like I saw her name come through and I was like, no way, that her? Oh my God. I was enthralled. And she loved the product, loved it. And we talked some more and I gave her some more insight into how I see her chart. And it shifted things in her that she's like, I had wanted to, but was sitting on it. And that's the power of really looking at your chart from multiple different angles. Like you can have a chart read by one person and it not resonate, but it's read by someone else and it will resonate deeply. So if you're still confused about what your human design chart is saying, reach out to someone else. Keep digging because it truly is. The secrets are there. It just may take the right person to help pull them out. And this conversation today is all about human design and money. Analena has like the money channel. It's wants. It's like, what do you want for people? And it is a deeply conditioned channel I've discovered in all the charts that I have read and people I've talked to. It's a channel that people don't necessarily own, right? Because think about it. When you're a kid, you're like, I want, and you're like, that naturally comes out of you. But depending on who your parents are and how they're raised and what environment you grew up in, what I want isn't always appreciated, right? It can be shut like nobody cares what you want. No, your opinion doesn't matter or whatever, right? And it can be deeply conditioned out of you and where you don't know what you want anymore. And Annalene talks about that, of how she felt like she never knew what she wanted. And I was like, you do know what you want. You're just not allowing yourself to be okay with it and to express it. And so we talk about that. We talk about her journey. We talk about how human design and gene keys really help you unpack in your own money story and how you can step more into confidence with your money story. Such a great episode. I'm super excited to bring it to you today. Also exciting news. I finally have a launch date for the membership program, which is Magnetic Messaging the Club. I am like so excited about bringing this membership. I think it's such a unique offer in that no one's talking about human design and messaging and energetics and putting it into a space that you get to come learn the knowledge, learn how to implement your chart into your messaging along with support and really getting that feedback. There's going to be live audits. I'm going to do trainings within there. It's going to make me really accountable to doing trainings. I know that if I don't have something under my butt, I don't necessarily do it. And I am really excited to really have people come to these trainings that are excited to learn, excited to implement, and excited to shift their messaging. So if you're questioning your messaging all the time, if you're overthinking it, wondering why or when is this going to click, or why are more people coming, like this is designed for you to help you figure out what your most magnetic message is. It's there and we will find it. And that's what this membership is all about, and giving you the support to find it yourself. And just honestly, the confidence and the energetics behind it. I'm really excited. There's even a VIP option where it's going to dive even further into the energetics of messaging, which is something I talk a little bit about, but I really want to start to go even deeper on the energetics piece and understanding how our mindset, our thoughts, how safety in our body matters to being able to express and articulate your message in a way that feels good. So that's a VIP option. Otherwise, you can just join in the founding members. But all of that is going to be dropping on my birthday, July 4th, to the email list. So if you are on my email list and you're already getting my emails, fantastic. You'll have the link. If you're not, I will put a thing in the bottom of the notes talking about how, or showing you, giving you a link, whatever, how you can get on my email list so that you get all the details on July 4th. I'm really excited. And yes, my birthday is July 4th. And I don't know. I'm just so excited that that's the date. Been waiting to try, just feeling like I don't know when this needs to go. It was feeling sticky. And I finally just said, you know what? It'll come to me when it comes to me. And literally like 2 hours later, it was like, no, do your birthday. It's your birthday. So I'm so excited. Right. So enjoy this episode and join the email list if you want to get details on the club, and have a great week, guys. Analena, I am so excited to dive into this conversation today. I was on your podcast last, but now we're here. I want to talk about all things you and your expertise. Your expertise is money, and you're leaning into that, which I think is so juicy. I mean, everybody wants more money. We all want our businesses to grow. So I'm so excited that you're here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Like I said, I really enjoyed our conversation, and you actually, I took one of your courses that helped me actually. I think it was the last thing that I needed to step finally more into the money topic, you know?
Yeah.
So that was really, yeah, and human design is epic. I don't know how else to say it.
It really is. And you dive a lot into the gene keys, which I haven't
Mm-hmm.
dove as much into the gene keys. Like I'll look at the gates specifically, but not the different sequences that the gene keys
Mm-hmm.
does. How has gene keys played a role in this self-discovery of money and aligning yourself to money?
Yeah. So what I find beautiful, so human design, right, has these 64 gates. And if you have followed me for a little bit, right? So I have
Yeah.
been sharing my take on the gates from reading all these different people that have been into human design for decades and have worked with Ra, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has really helped me first to understand how life works. That's really what human design is most for me about. And then, of course, so in human design was a lot. So I have all the money channels in the chart, and my whole chart is screaming, talk about money. And I was like, yeah, okay. And in astrology, it's in the second house, my sun and my Mercury is in the second house. And then, so the gene keys, they give a much more in-depth explanation of those gates. So we have 64 gates in human design, and in the gene keys, we have 64 gene keys. So if my conscious sun is in gate 13, you get some information about it. It's about listening and writing an empowering story and that kind of stuff, right? But then the gene keys go so much deeper into things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, woo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are two particular things that help me support the money conversation more. I mean, first, I'm just passionate about it since I'm a little kid, right? And I think that's honestly the biggest indicator, but I didn't trust it enough. So in the gene keys, I have my moon, my unconscious moon in the human design chart. We call that the attraction sphere in the gene keys. That's one of the money gates
Mm-hmm.
or energies, what we would say, right? It's all about, I mean, in the shadow, it's about trying to control things, but in the high expression, it's actually like really fully stepping into your authority and what you stand for, right?
Yeah.
And also releasing control and more surrendering it, and no matter what's going on around you, especially also with money, right? We can fall into such a victim state when
Yeah.
things are not going the way we think they should, or money gets tight. And so my attraction sphere has a lot to do with who I attract, the people, the clients.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a money energy in itself. So the topic of money has a lot to do with the relationships I attract. Also in my personal life, I can tell you, like, in my relationships, there's always a theme with money. And first
Mm-hmm.
of all, oh my God, that gave me so much compassion, because you start to think like, what's that going on here with money? Is there something wrong with me, or why does
Mm-hmm.
it always be, is it such a big topic and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it gave me this awareness, like, oh yeah, I mean, if I transfer this to business, so a lot of the people that I attract, there's also the conversation about money. And of course I had seen this already with people that I have worked with, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing, so my conscious Mercury is in gate 19, which is, as you know, right? You're the expert here. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
the energy that we communicate, right? Like how we communicate. And it's a very highly sensitive energy. And it actually talks a lot about your basic needs.
Yeah. It's
So
emotional. Like it wants,
yeah, it's
yeah.
us
Mm-hmm.
emotional, from the root center, right? And actually, if you look at your Gene Keys profile, gate 19 is not in my Gene Keys profile in those
Mm.
three sequences, because Mercury is not in the activation sequence, it's not in the Venus sequence, it's not in the Pearl sequence. However, it's in my human design chart. And when I looked at the Gene Key of the 19,
Mhm.
which is still part of me, right? And
Yep.
it just has given me much more depth. And even in there, in the book, I don't have the book here right now, it says somewhere these people, they're most likely to talk a lot about money. And money was one of the topics, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. That's, it just was another confirmation, right? Because one of our basic needs, let's be real, is money as well,
Yeah.
right? Like without money, and my biggest passion really with money is not so much, so I think we experience on our own journey these extremes to then finally get the real path. And for me, I was living, I think, early on in this illusion that all I'm after is money, right? I was always
Mm.
very competitive. I was like the type A plus student always, and I loved to study. And it always came very easy to me, right? And I was always like, yeah, I work to make money. That's how it flows, right? And then through my attraction sphere, the situations I attracted where also money played a big role, right? I started to realize that it's not the money that's making me actually happy, right? And especially on my journey of becoming an entrepreneur. So I had left corporate. That was the very first time where I was like, okay, now I have to make money. There was no more paycheck coming in. And of course, there was also the pressure from my undefined root
Yep.
to actually make it happen, which is normal, right? And then I invested a lot of money that I didn't really have. I mean, I had access to the money on credit, but I didn't really have it in my account, so to say,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really over invested because I fell for these big money claims, where the main focus was about on money. And instead of, creating a return on investment, like I learned in college in my corporate finance class, like always get a return on investment, that did not happen at all. It was more like quite the opposite. And I started to feel like a loser and I'm not cut for this, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then I went through a long process of doing a lot of internal work, lots of emotional release. Right. And then eventually, and this is one of the things that really your little course helped me with, right? The unfiltered
Yeah.
messaging, I think it's called,
Yeah.
because I have this money channel, the 2145, and I have always been a person that really suppressed my own wants,
Mm.
and yeah, and you pointed it out, and it's kind of, I knew this, but I had to hear it from the right person, and you were the right person for me.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, well, with a money channel, you're here to talk about what you want and help others what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, what I want is I want to make money doing what I love, which I already have been doing, right? But really give myself permission to say this,
Mm-hmm.
and not only money to get by, but to make enough money to do what I want, to travel, to fulfill my desires in a sustainable way, especially from Mother Earth, right? I've
Yeah.
never been a person to like over excessively get into stuff,
Yeah.
but I like things too, right?
Yeah.
And I like experiences. And the other thing is I also learned that in my pearl sequence, that's from the Gene Keys now, my pearl is the 44 and the line is the 3 line. And with a 3 line, really what prosperity for me means is through celebration. Actually, the three is like, in order to celebrate, especially with your loved ones and your close network and friends and community, like you're gonna need to have some money to celebrate, right? Like for example, rent a boat one day and let's have a party with your friends or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was also another aha moment for me. Like, yeah, I really need to give myself permission that I want it.
Oh my gosh. I feel like our stories are so similar. I mean, I had the same thing initially trying to get online and really got sucked into that whole hustle culture and money and promises, big promises and nothing delivering, investing on credit, um, to a lot of money with it not coming back. And then having that realization of, well, what does that say about me? I'm making stories about it, really having to heal it. And I love that the authentic messaging really helped you see what that channel, I mean, that's your only channel to your throat, which means it's big energy that you want to talk about. And that is, I've noticed, a deeply conditioned channel that most people don't want to talk about what they want, right? Or helping other people get what they want. It's fascinating. My son has that channel and he 100% like he wants what he wants and he's not afraid to ask for it. And it's interesting to see adults with that channel and how they've grown up with that same energy.
And I love this because there are a couple of things I want to say in response. Because first, like we learn from our children, right? And it's so beautiful that you have witnessed this in your child, and then you can use that to share with others. Because for me, I was a chronic I don't know what I want sayer.
Yeah.
I have an open ESP, which is a shadow of the ESP, like where you're like, I don't know, because I don't know what I'm feeling. There's nothing. It's empty, right?
Yep.
And then open, undefined head and ashna, like, well, it could be this or that. I don't know. And I always say this little story. I remember one time I was driving in the car with my dad, and he's a defined ashna. So he's a very like, he knows kind of thing, no, very straightforward. And it was one time he was asking me something, and I was saying for the 100th time, well, I don't know. And he said, what do you mean you don't know? And that always comes back to me for some reason that I really, and in the beginning when I learned about human design with my open ESP, I was like, well, that's just normal for me that I don't know what I want. But somehow with your course, and that's another thing I wanted to say. So that was a very low ticket offer, right?
Yeah.
$37.
$37.
Yeah. And I want just to point this out. That made such a difference in my life. I have invested $11,000 into a program, and that put me in a place of like, I'm not cut for this. I'm a loser. There was so much pressure. And just to see this, like, and I'm not saying everything is like that, right? It's not about yes, I have also invested into high ticket where it was worth it, right? But I have to say that especially since I had this realization, what kind of money is really like an illusion, right? That's not what makes you happy. That's not what creates security. That is an inside job. It really is, and it takes time. And there are so many people out there that have all the money in the bank, but they're super unhappy. They actually feel super scared because they're scared to lose it, right?
Yeah.
It took me such a long time to finally get it. But what I want to say also for the listeners here, right? Because it's not that you have to have so much money to get results. It's often what I have experienced for myself. It's even like, this, like I give human design readings. They're so life-changing. They're so powerful. And I tell people, listen to it. They get a recording. Listen to this several times again. And if they just go into the wisdom of that one session, they can experience so much transformation. But we have this tendency to like, I need to know more. I need to go on to the next. And we don't even go deep into what's right in front of us.
Yeah.
And my motto also has always been like, less is more, slow down. And that's exactly what it was. Like, I needed less. And I actually, I know you offered another course after that, and I was tempted to do it, but I was like, my body was telling me, don't do it, because you need to really go back to this little course and listen to this again and read it again. And I might do it a couple of more times, right? So there's so much value in this. And that also, from my own experience, I had another experience with an astrologer where I also had like a low ticket, and I find it so powerful compared to what I had seen with high ticket. And then you just felt like a number. And
Yeah.
there was really the energy of like, that the people care more about the scaling and the money than actually you. And with these offers like yours as well, it was more like, wow, you really care to bring value, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever else is going to come from this, right? And we often don't know how it's going to happen. And like you said, now people from my podcast are coming to you. You may get new clients, so the money's flowing, right?
Yeah.
But not in a way of how we think it should be.
Oh,
It
100%.
starts to happen differently.
Yeah. And I mean, you talked earlier about control and controlling money. And I feel like that's been a huge piece of my own journey with money, of releasing that tight. Like, I want to hold on to it really tight. I got to manifest all this, like strangling it to death. Versus I really tried in January. I mean, not even tried. Like, I made a commitment. Like, I need to release this control. I know that it will flow when I trust that flow. So it's been that journey of constantly going back to like, nope, relax. It's okay. My state girl is going to lead me to what I need to do. And I've made decisions that on the surface didn't look like it was going to lead to anywhere, but it has. It's like that the $37 offer, had no idea where it was going when I first initially did it. I just knew that there was some value that I could add. And it would be something interesting and fun and different to put out there. So
and now just think about this, right? Like, you trusted yourself, you put this out there, and Alina bought it. It made such a difference for me. Now it's going to have a ripple effect with the people that I work with, because I'm finally stepping into it. So the value that we together create when we trust ourselves, and the ripple effect we create, is really mind-blowing. And another thing I want to add on, since we're having this conversation, right? Because I consider myself a very humble person, and I think you're that as well. The way that I have perceived you, like, we're not the, oh my God, look at my client and they made $1 million because they worked with me for one session or something like that, right? That's another thing that I have found, that the majority, especially of these high ticket programs, all the wins that are being shared, they're around big money wins. Right? Like, I want to say 95% of them. Who is celebrating the big emotional release? Who is celebrating moving through a very difficult time? Who is celebrating actually just the change how you feel about money? Those things, right? That's where everything starts. And we're just, I mean, that's, and I was there, like, I fell for these things, and that's the ultimate one thing we're all after. And if I'm not there, and that then also creates this hierarchy, right? Where we're like, well, there's me, there's the people that have less, and there's more. And that is one of my actually biggest prosperity blocks. I have the 50 in it's my unconscious Jupiter in the human design chart. In the gene keys, it's called your culture sphere. If you look at that particular gene key, that can be potentially one of our biggest block in the shadow. And the shadow of the 50 is corruption, which is all about these hierarchies that we have, right? And the injustice that's going on. And I see this a lot, corruption with money, what's going on, because it's all based on fear and greed. And I think oftentimes people are not even aware of. It's not about pointing fingers that they do it intentionally. I don't really think most people do it intentionally, but what I think is going to happen, or I think it's already happening from what I have heard from some other coaches, is that most businesses that were in the kind of on this path of just focusing on scaling, how make more money, because at the end of the day, they will lose sight of really being in service. Right. And of course, we can also be too much into service and not charge for it. It's always like finding that. And that's now with the 50, it's about equilibrium, and then creating harmony to find a healthy balance between, yes, I'm being of service, but I also charge my worth, so that I don't just get by, but I'm actually thriving, so I can fully live out my purpose and continue being of service, but in a sustainable way, right? Because I really believe, and that's actually what the 45th gene key talks about, which is part of that money channel, right? it actually talks about that any business that is based on fear and greed is going to crumble and fall apart eventually. And I think we already see this happening.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. And in messaging, it's been a balance as well, as you see so much messaging and marketing around getting the 10K month or the 100K lunch or all these money goals. And if you hit that, then your problems are all solved, right? Which we know that's not true, I think, on a deeper level. But because we're like inundated with that messaging, that's what we think we need to put out there. We think we need to talk about those big numbers. And I've always been a huge advocate of, I don't use a lot of testimonials. Sometimes I feel like I should, but I don't, because it's everyone's different, right? And just because one person had really great results doesn't mean that you will. And I don't want to put any false advertising out there. Like, I'll share a little bit about someone's experience with me because I think you'll get the same experience, but the results are different, right? And it's such a fine line between that masculine marketing and that marketing and that versus being more spiritually led, more authentically led, but still communicating the incredible value that you bring to the table.
You know what? Because this thing with these testimonials, there's also the argument like, well, we need to show people what's possible. But what really rings true for me now that because I feel like we have this very same point of view on this, because I barely share testimonials. And I mean, just this past week, I had some incredible things happen, people that I've worked with, like mind blowing, like huge, like freaking huge, where I got goosebumps and like, oh my gosh, right? Everybody. So there's also a part of me like, I need to share this a little bit more out of responsibility. But these typical money focused, especially testimonials, right?
Yeah.
What I can say from my own experience is that one, they created expectations, which we know from human design as well, from the 35-36 channel energy, right? Which I think is activated right now, actually, as we speak. That always leads to disappointments, you know, because it's like we're going into it like, I'm going to do this to make money.
Yep.
I can tell you 100% of the times I did that, it did not work for me.
Yep. Same. Same.
And I mean, why would I'm a manager and I'm here to experiment, right? Even though and you, well, you're a 4-6, so you have a little bit more experimental energy than I do, but we are in essence 3 lines as managers, right? We have to try things out. And I think I have proven it to be wrong that doing something to make money like just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And gate 14, on the other hand, right, which is in my chart from the 214 channel, it's also a very prominent money energy, is the one place where we actually work for money. But not it starts with this sacral ooh response, right? This like I love it. It's I can put my creativity into it, and then we just also enjoy getting paid for it. It's not this energy of like, how can I make money? What should I do? No matter if I like it or not, right? It's the flow is different. It starts with more the feminine, and then we tap more into the masculine. So
anytime that I look at an offer that I want to give and I start to go, okay, well, how is this going to make money? How does this play into that goal that I'm going for, or the amount of money that I would really love to have every single month? Anytime I start to overthink that, it completely shuts down creativity. It shuts down. It immediately makes me start to think what I have is crap, or that the offer isn't going to be of service in the way that I want it to, or I start adding in lots of stuff to make it look really valuable or things like that, instead of just trusting that the flow will happen when I'm in my own creative flow, my own like sacral response, and having fun with what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's definitely that's the way it is, I think. And we just follow that. And I think while we're just in the energy of feeling worthy to get paid and also really owning, that's why this reflection of the money channel helped me so much, that it's okay to want money, right? It's okay to want to make money more than what we just need to get by, right? And actually, one big aha moment I also had recently, and I think I've had it many times over the years, actually. It's like, so when I'm in a place of just getting by, right, I'm kind of forced to also buy products from companies that have these very cheap things that are probably produced with child labor or
Yeah.
toxic chemicals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I, on the other hand, allow myself to have a aligned, healthy flow of money, whatever that is, that's aligned for me, right?
Hmm.
For some
Hmm.
people, it's the $1 million. For some people, it's making 100K a year. Some are the happiest with 50K a year. Like it also
Hmm.
depends where you live, right? Living here in South Florida is probably a different story than living in Portugal or something like that, right?
Hmm.
So it's different cost of living. But when we allow ourselves to have a very healthy flow of money, that also gives us the freedom to make choices where I can rather pay something to a local shop that really cares about the environment. They use eco-friendly products and services. They really treat their employees well. I can actually create more abundance,
Hmm.
right? And I support where love is instead of I support greed and fear, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that actually gives me goosebumps as I'm speaking about it because that's just like, this is fine line because, okay, we need to stop just focusing on money, but then at the same time, also really own that we desire a
Hmm.
certain level of, freedom with money.
Hmm. Yeah. And desiring, I mean, you get to desire what you want to desire. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
meant for you when you're like, I really love that. Like I really love renovating our space, our home to exactly
Mm-hmm.
what I want. Like that lights me up. I get so excited. It's a lot of work. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
easiest thing on the planet, but when it's done, it just every time I walk into that space, I'm excited and grateful. And that fuels the next thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That's actually, I wanted to share this with you. I have that passion myself. I love, like, if I barely watch TV, but I would watch HGTV, like Fixer Upper and stuff.
oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Over
like
and
that's the
over.
only I just, and I sometimes in my home too, like, and I think my manager, because with our job, right, we sit so much on the computer, and my biggest joy, I mean, I would even do like interior design and
Yeah.
like renovate everything, make it pretty. And I have my radiance is the Jinky one. It's all about beauty and freshness. And
Yeah.
I totally relate what you mean, because we also have to be physically active and do something else. So yeah, like that recreates some new flow of energy. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It creates I feel more creative when the space is like
Mm.
exactly how I want it. And it
Mm.
feels more energizing. When the space is not, it's just it feels heavy and ugh, like I can't
Mm-hmm.
get away from it. Yeah.
Mm.
Awesome. You have a new offer out, a membership. Want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about that?
Yes, very excited about it. I'm excited about your membership too, by the way.
Yeah.
So yes, it is called recently launched. It's called CMC abbreviated. It's called the Conscious Money Collective, which is a monthly membership where I support you in my Analena way because I learned that constantly being on as a 2-4 line does not work for me. So I give you less but more potent things. So it's going to be all about supporting you do what you love, whatever is uniquely to you, right? If
Hmm.
that's being a coach, if that's being an interior designer, if that's being a gardener, if that's a
Hmm.
stay-at-home mom, whatever this is for you, right? And allow yourself to receive a healthy flow of money forever doing what your zone of genius is. And of course, move through whatever money challenges that you may have in your life. And I'm using all my wisdom and knowledge from human design, gene keys, the deconditioning work, which I'm pretty much a wizard with, like emotional release work. I
Yeah.
have one modality in particular that's very powerful. It's called infinity healing. So this month, I know right now when you guys are listening to it, probably already happened in the past, or it will be happening in the past. But today is actually the day, as we're recording this, of the first live call, and we are doing an infinity healing on this culture sphere I was talking about. And you can join anytime. Whenever you join, you will have access to all the previous replays. So you will actually get that as well, whatever we have done in the previous month as well. And best of all, it's not an investment that's gonna put pressure on you. So it's $17 a month.
It's
It's
so
like,
low. It's like I
yeah,
I saw it. I was like, what? How what?
yeah. but that feels aligned. So it may go up over time. Right now, that's the founding members price. And I have no idea when I'm going to shift. We are around the 20, we have, I think, almost 20 people now in the membership. As it grows over time, and I will really live this experience also, me following my human design, I pivot, I shift, I may decide to offer a couple of other things or shift it around every month, because there's nothing worse for me than doing the same thing over and over again. As a manager, I'm here to respond. This is really for me to connect with some wonderful humans. So far it's all women. And we have different human design types. We have a manifestor, we have a projector, we have generators, manifesting generators. I'm just waiting for the first reflector, because we also need to learn to live together. And Rachel, this was another thing. You actually brought this up, and it really triggered me when you said it, because I first wanted to relaunch my previous membership that I did a couple of years ago, which was called Bloom. And I wanted to only do it for manifesting generators, because I do get a big resonance with ManiGens, because I'm a ManiGen, right? And on my episodes, so I was like, I need to do this membership just for ManiGens. But then I sat with it, envisioning phase, being with it, and I'm not sure. I mean, it really lights me up to work with ManiGens, but I always have this thing of like, we need to work together. It's not going to be good for us ManiGens to isolate ourselves from the rest of the world and just do our own thing. We are here to collaborate, to support, right? And use the different energies the 5 types have. And you brought it up also. You did a little like feedback thing on my chart, right? That gave me some input. I was like, well, why do you just want to work with ManiGens? Because so one of the things as well, I think that's also for the Conscious Money Collective, is specifically for people that consider themselves highly sensitive, empath, introverts. That's who I attract. That's who I am. And that's also the 19 energy, right? And you were saying like, well, there's so many other types that fall into this category. I was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, but I already announced it to my audience. Now I have to do it. But my sequel then was no longer on board, right? And that can be such a conundrum sometimes. It's wise for managers sometimes to wait and keep quiet. Until we're like, okay, I changed my mind again. And then also having compassion for ourselves that that's just how it is. So anyways, that's how this membership came about. And I'm just really lit up. And I think that's a beautiful space for people to start working on their money desires, in a really aligned and healthy way. We're not here to chase money. We're not here to put money on a pedestal, but we are here to fully step into your worthiness, to get compensated in a way that is aligned for you, right? And so there's going to be new topics every month, but not in an overwhelm kind of way, right? Because my core wound is the 40, which the shadow is exhaustion. So too much stuff never serves me. It's really less is more. And so the membership really focused on simplicity, on really what's going to move the needle, plus a very loving community and environment. And I care. I connect with people. We have one monthly live call right now, and at the end there's always going to be like a Q&A. And it may actually be a beautiful place for people to get to know each other. Maybe you're going to start a project together. Who knows what's going to come about from this?
I love that it's like just the information and then time to implement it, right? And you're not just taking in information. I know I used to do that all the time. Like I would just take in the information, but I didn't actually implement it into my life. And I love that you're giving people that time and space and the tools through EFT to implement it and really sit with it, right? And allow it to transform your life. Because if you're just learning it, it's not in the body. We want it in the body.
Yeah, exactly. And a couple of other things, you're also going to get access to book Human Design or Gene Keys reading with me at a discounted rate. So people that are inside the membership, they only pay $222 right now, as long as I have availability, right? I should never say forever. And so whatever else I respond to, the group is really here to ask what you guys want. So I'm not here to plan out the entire year. I'm here to go with the flow of my sequel with my Gene Key 1, which is about freshness and creating new things. Let my creativity its flow. So Yeah. And it's really, I think, honestly, the most powerful of the whole container is the intention I put into it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you come to the table with and the space that you're creating with for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. So awesome. I think we need more spaces that are that lower ticket that allow people to explore their money story, to really explore and um, get allow the flow more, right? That don't
Mm-hmm.
cost thousands of dollars. Like that's kind
Yeah.
of defeats the whole purpose
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
understanding, right?
exactly. And I even did, I even last year, and I myself invested into another money course, which was, if you ask me now, way overpriced for what for the
Yeah.
experience that I had with it. And I honestly believe that my membership has greater value just because even though it's way less money, right? And that's exactly the thing. People that are already in a very scarcity kind of place that tend to overinvest into
Yep.
things because of money promises, and it
Yep.
creates this vicious cycle. And
Yep.
it makes some few people more and more rich,
Yep.
and then other people are actually suffering from it. And
Mm.
that is the opposite of a healthy
Yeah.
equilibrium, right? That is actually more corruption. And again, I'm not saying people do that on purpose or they're aware of it, but we have to be very cautious with it. And of course, I could be like, well, I should charge more. And I charge more. Private sessions cost more money with me. You can get a
Mhm.
certification, human design certification, that's high ticket. You can work with me one-on-one for 6 months. That's going to cost much more, right? Like
Mhm.
that's not going to be like $33 or something like that, because my energy, that's one of the things that I've learned, is also very, very precious, right? And I need to
Yeah.
set very healthy
Yeah.
boundaries with that. But in the group like that, especially as it keeps growing, the more it grows, the more I can offer,
Hmm.
because there may be a point where all I have is the membership and I don't need anything else, right?
Yeah.
It
Totally.
can potentially happen,
Yeah.
right? And everybody within that is going to thrive, and it's just beautiful. It's yeah, you can have one, and I have had it, no? You can have one 10K month and you think you're on top of the world, but then the next 3 months nothing happens, right? Which is also, that's how nature sometimes works.
Yeah.
um but we can also allow this energy. I can make much more of an impact with the masses, and that I'm also
Yeah.
an Aquarius, right? Everything in my chart is more about, I'm not so much of just a one-on-one coach. I'm more here to be on a stage, really impact bigger groups of people.
Hmm.
And with that idea, a low cost offer is just very aligned,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And you can have many different things. And I have always, because that's what I wanted. Honestly, I'm creating this like for me in a way, because that's what I wanted when I started my journey. And I
Yeah.
know there's so many people out there that will be able to make such a bigger impact in the world by being in a loving space where especially you don't have this pressure from the get-go to make back your investment or whatever,
Hmm.
right? Because within 8 weeks, there's something called divine timing. We just can't uh, like fake that. It's there. Sometimes we gotta do some deep inner work that's gonna take a hot minute,
Hmm.
and you can quantum leap, but what I have experienced, the more you slow down, the more patience you have. The
Hmm.
quantum leaps happen when you don't expect it.
Yeah.
Chasing them is gonna push them away, just like same in
100%.
money, right? So yeah,
100%.
anyways.
No, I love that. I mean, and I love having the value ladder, right? And I think that's huge. I know there was kind of a movement there where it was like only sell high ticket. That's all you need. And you'll easily, you just have to have like 4 clients a month and you're golden. But it's not in service. Like that to me feels more like you're just out to make money, right? Versus having a value ladder where you have things that are at that lower ticket for people that can't invest and shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
invest a huge amount of money,
Yeah.
but still need help and still
Yeah.
want to improve and keep working to improve themselves, right? But
Mm.
then you can have larger ticket offers on the back end that are more in depth or more one-on-one time or whatever, and
Mm.
have a beautiful, like, um, what's the word? Buffet of
Yeah, exactly.
things to
Exactly.
choose from, depending on what
Yeah.
your level is. I never want someone to do an offer or do copywriting with me if it's going to put their nervous system into like a tailspin,
Mm-hmm.
right? It
Yeah,
should be
exactly.
a no-brainer. Like, yes, I am ready for help. But if it's going to cause you to go, oh God, like if this doesn't work, I'm screwed. Like that should never, ever be a
Hmm.
reason that you do something.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you on that. And that's the thing, like with something like that, a membership like this, right? People have there is accountability and
Mhm.
there's energy, which is important because sometimes if we are just on our own, we keep lose track of it. We get on our old
Yeah.
stories. So I think it's so good to be committed to something, even if that's low ticket, right? And then at some point, now is the time for me to do high ticket. And the
Hmm.
thing is, if we are just in this, like, I need to offer high ticket, we are actually creating more of the gap in
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
have this awesome thing here, but it's only for the ones that already are there,
Yeah.
and that's not fair to me. And again, you can offer all of it, and but I think it's actually in terms of, and I have guilt motivation in human design,
Mm.
which is kind of like a 5-line energy. So I'm here like, oh, if I'm leaning, I hope it's this gap between rich and poor is going to take care of itself. That's my shadow, right? But if I'm more like, okay, I'm going to take action and provide a practical solution, right? That's the guilt motivation, like the high expression. And that's for me what I'm doing with this membership, right? This is a
Mhm.
practical solution. This is sustainable for people. If you really want it, you can make it happen, right?
Yeah.
$17 is not going to be something like
No.
that's
Like,
going to be an issue for anybody, right?
yeah.
So, and then the other thing is that what I also envision, I'm not gonna commit to it right now, but that's also very strong in my chart, or especially astrology wise, that there's something with me like actually to help others build their own thriving communities.
Mhm.
And I can already feel this a lot. I mean, my pearl is also the 44, which is all about teamwork and bringing
Yeah.
your soul fractal together.
Yep.
So, what could happen within the Conscious Money Collective is that I over time may share. Again, I'm not committing to it, but I am already feeling it that may be coming.
Yeah.
To actually that the members in the Money Collective, they're going to start their own membership with their soul fractal people, right? So we start to build communities that are thriving and really supportive,
Yeah.
right? And also financially healthy, because that's also what human design also talks about, where we're going towards 2027, where we're more community based, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I love that. I
mm-hmm.
love that so much. Yeah. When we,
Yeah,
yeah, when we come together, so much can happen. So much good.
yeah, and that's the 4-line energy. I'm a 2-4 profile, right? And we all have that energy somewhere in the chart, even if it's undefined.
Hmm.
It's just yeah, it's so who I am, right? To create this close network of people, really nurture it,
Hmm.
pour all my love into it while having healthy boundaries, right? That's important. So
That's important.
I
I'm
always
like,
have to watch out for sure.
yep. Yeah.
And and yeah, so and I also have to say that price, there is no right price. You could have my previous membership was $33 a month, but I checked in with my Sequel. The
Mm,
17 was just like it felt so clear and energetic aligned where I'm in this like I can really be of service. There there is a monetary exchange, right? Which was important
yep.
for me.
Yep. That is important.
Um yeah, especially my money channel is in the moon, right? So it is very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And but then also at the same time that now I lost my train of thoughts. Typical money chan. Undefined head in Ashna. Um yeah, I don't know what I wanted to say. What do you know what I wanted to say?
I'm trying to think. Yeah. No.
So
Equal exchange. Oh my God.
oh yeah, but also it created this, it felt so clear for me that that price point felt so good for me because I can get into this like if it would be $100 a month, I would be like, I have to give this and this and this and this and
Mm-hmm.
this. And I would be in the over giving. So
Hmm.
this price point was for me that sweet spot where I can really stand in my value and
Hmm.
give what I feel is aligned and be in this less is more.
Hmm.
And also allow myself to, yeah, really withdraw when I need my alone time. Right. And I constantly be on and available. So, and there's
Yeah.
no one price that works for everybody. That is something
No.
that your body will show you what that is.
Exactly. Yeah. No one can tell
So
you what
that's
price is. No one. Yeah. No business code. I mean, my own membership, I've gone around and around and around on the price. And it's actually the first thing that I've ever felt like unsure of what I want to charge. And overthinking it, 100% overthinking it and getting in my own head about it instead of trusting what my sacral is trying to lead me to. The problem is I keep getting mixed signals even from my sacral. I'll do it one moment, it'll be this price, and then I'll do it the next day and it'll be a different price, depending on where I'm at emotionally, which is I found super interesting in this process. And I think that's why I haven't released it yet, because it hasn't come through clearly yet.
But you will, maybe it's just the sign that you have to wait a couple more weeks or something, because when the time is right, it will just feel so effortless and like, just let kind of, you know what, let it go. I love it that I don't know what the price is. Just be with that.
Yeah.
And let it come to you, right? Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Let it go.
Just celebrate that you don't know.
Celebrate that I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I like that.
And you're open to, whenever the time is right, you're going to have that shower download moment.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm so excited for you. That's going to be amazing. Such an amazing offer. So much value for, so much value for $17. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
We'll drop in the show notes information on how people can join that if they are feeling called. And anything else that you want to leave the audience with?
Just want to thank everybody for listening, and want to let you know that no matter where you're at with money, your relationship with money, how you feel about money, it's exactly where you need to be. That's, I think, and be really gentle and compassionate with yourself. Like, it's not wrong to have a lot of money. It's not wrong to struggle with money. It's not wrong to want more money. Whatever it is, that's what it is for you. So just love that more. And if you desire some support, right, in a non-pressure kind of way, you're invited to join us. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not wrong to make bad decisions. I mean, we both made decisions.
It's all learning experiences.
It is. It's all a learning experience. Once I realized that, I was, the pressure. It just went away. I was like, yeah, I messed up, or I didn't even mess up. It was just a decision that I learned a big lesson in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Awesome. Thank you so much, Analena, for coming on today and sharing your wisdom and your beautiful energy. I so appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Good night. Bye.